Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Sorry that things have been so quiet lately. As usual, we're bad at remembering to upload videos. Today, we have 11 adorable little day-old chicks who have just recently hatched, and we just moved them into the brooder after weighing everyone and making sure everyone was healthy. And the light-colored ones you see are white Bantam Wyandottes. Some of them might actually be done paint, or painted done painted, I can't remember the correct terminology, but most likely will feather out to just be solid white like their mother. Those are from our hen Oyster, and their father is Button, or Mr. Button. They're all named after mushrooms. These babies don't have names yet, because we want to make sure that we don't that we're actually keeping them. This adorable little rust-colored baby is a Sandjack Longcrower, or Rogash, as they're known where they're actually from. They're a large fowl, a breed that I'm trying to just get started in, and I only have one right now, a cockerel named Starling. This one, let's see if I can get the camera to behave, is he's reddish colored, although the lighting isn't great here. And his, or actually hopefully her, name is Grackle. And the black one here, this one, is, well, black, and her name is Junko. I'm hoping they're both hens because I already have a cockerel named Starling, which I just said earlier. And, you know, I kind of need pullets in order to breed then. And they're a rare breed. There isn't a standard for them, but because they're a landrace breed, where they're from, but they're kind of working on establishing a standard that still allows a lot of flexibility, which I have a copy of from a breeder here in the US. It's very open-ended, lots is left up to interpretation, lots of words like moderately or medium or things like that, which makes sense because for landrace breeds, they're shaped by the land that they exist in, so imposing a standard on them would kind of it wouldn't be great. I actually have learned a lot more about that in regards to dogs than chickens, but it still applies to chickens. But they're just really lovely so far. They're a long crowing breed, which means that when the cocks crow, it lasts, in the Sandjack specifically, lasts anywhere from, like, 10 to 30 seconds. Some people say as long as 40, but I haven't actually. I know the Kosovo, which is a smaller solid black variant, or similar to the Sandjack, can last up to 40 seconds normally, only after they're about 2 years old. But Sandjacks I don't think actually usually last that long. They're crow. But they're also a good meat bird and excellent layers of large white eggs. They're just a great dual-purpose bird. And where they're from, the cocks tend to be rather aggressive towards each other, but for some reason here in the US, the lines that have been imported are all very mellow, so there's not really an issue with them getting along with each other, which of course is what I prefer. So I'm obviously going to select for that temperament that's easy to get along with, easygoing and friendly, good with a mixed flock. And these eggs I ordered from a breeder in Pennsylvania, and out of 12 eggs, got 2 to hatch. 3 made it to lockdown, but the third one didn't make it, sadly. But we have these 2, and then I have my older boy Starling, who's out in the grow-out pen because he's about 5 weeks old now. And the dark-colored Wyandottes are called Dun Chocolate, which is one of 2 chocolate variations that exist in the US. Dun Chocolate is kind of I would describe it as like a steely chocolate color. We don't actually have an adult that color right now, but the dad has 2 copies of it, and it acts kind of like blue, where if they have 2 copies, then they're splash, which we call khaki. So some of the light-colored babies are probably khaki, but I can't remember which ones are. We'll be able to tell as adults. because it's like an off-white color, usually with some brown mixed into the mane and the saddle. And their mom is what we call sex-linked chocolate or recessive chocolate, which is more of a milk chocolate color. And both are linked to black. It's a little confusing. So I guess having these babies is a bit of an experiment with the genetics. And of course these guys are, just, the oldest hatched out rather early on, just day 19. But overall they're all very young babies, so they get little short bursts of energy. They come out, they eat, they drink, and then they run back in, they nap, they get warm, and then they come out and do it again. You can see one napping right there. You can see we don't, I don't know if we've mentioned it before in past videos, but our brooder setup, we don't use heat lamps. I don't like them. They seem to slow chick development. And of course there's the fire risk, and they don't really offer much comfort, just strictly heat. So you'll notice chicks that are under them tend to cry a lot, and they don't grow as quickly, they don't feather in as quickly. So we like, this one is the Comfort brand, which we get from Premier One. And this is the I believe the smallest size that they have. We also have the largest size, but that's on some Muscovy ducklings right now. And it's heated on the bottom, so they can snuggle up right against it. Let's see, it's going to be a little shaky, but take the camera off and I can show you. I just accidentally paused the camera briefly, sorry about that. See, they can snuggle up right against it. And hear their happy noises. So it's nice, it's comforting, it keeps them warm, but it doesn't provide constant heat. So when they come out, they get exposed to the cooler air, which seems to really help promote more normal feather development. And I've noticed that it makes them a lot more cold hardy earlier on, which is, it's good, it's better for them. But we keep them on heat for, they keep this for about 4 weeks, and then they're feathered enough that we can take that away, but they still stay inside until it's, unless it's warm enough that they can go out. And at 4 weeks they also are supposed to start perching and practicing that. Hi, Grackle. I have no idea what color Grackle's gonna be. The lighting here isn't very good, but he's like this really pretty, kind of rich, rusty red color. And then he's got a lot of black mixed in. They have a lot of different colors. And that's just part of the breed, is just a bunch of different colors that may or may not breed true, kind of like Saramas, which I honestly really love. Because, it's a mystery, you never know what you're gonna get. It makes for a very colorful flock. Oh, it is nap time for the babies. Okay. Going to pause the camera right now and move into our other room where we have some musky ducklings. I'm not sure if they'll come out, but they should, so 1 second. Okay, moved into where we have the bigger brooder set up. You can see this is a much larger heater. And under here, we have muscovy ducklings. I mean, calling them ducklings isn't technically correct, because muscovies aren't actually ducks. They're closer related to geese. Hi, sweetie. And these guys are really friendly, but we just moved them into this brooder, and they had been in the baby brooder, which of course is raised up. And now they're on the floor, and it's much bigger, a lot more room for them. They have a perch, because they're a perching species. They have a hooked back claw that allows them to perch. But they're a little weirded out by being on the floor now, so they've been a little shy. We have 6 of them. They're all named after fish. We have the biggest is guppy, the second biggest is minnow, the smallest is barracuda, and then the others are Oscar, tuna, and anchovy. And the colors we have are 2 wild type, which will be black with some white accents on them, and that's Oscar and barracuda. And then we have 3 that I believe will be chocolate pied, and that's anchovy, tuna, and minnow. And then 1 who I think is going to be black pied, and that's guppy. I'm not sure why they decided to start being so shy. I think they just don't like, they're weirded out by, like, legs walking by. They came from a local farm. Here we go. Hi, babies. Hi, ducks. They came from a local farm where they had been hatched out by their mother, and we got them at about probably a week old. Guppy's probably 2 weeks old. You could see some of the pretty distinct size differences. And they hadn't really been handled by people, like, at all. So they were basically feral, but they were really, really calm. Just very content, easygoing babies. They're not... I find them a lot easier than any of the mallard-type ducks, which all of our domesticated ducks are either mallards or muscovies. And I mean, right now these guys, you can't really, unless you know what you're looking for, they just look like ducklings. But when they're adults, the males, they'll get waddling around their face, and the males will get big black and red caruncles around their nose and face. And the hens kind of just keep a little mask. We're pretty sure that guppy is male, but not sure about the others. Yeah, they're too young. That's Oscar there. This little one who almost looks like a mallard baby. She's wild type. She's barracuda. Guppy's there. I'm bad at telling the chocolates apart right now. They all look really similar. They're not messy, which I love. You can see their bedding is actually all dry, which is amazing. If you've ever raised waterfowl, then you might be stunned by that. They're not messy. They drink their water. They don't try to play in it right now or anything. They drink and they eat, and sometimes they get the zoomies and run around, and they're really good at jumping. They jump up on their brooder and run around on it. They jump up on their perch and play on it. See if they're okay with the camera, so you guys can hear them talking. They're not sure what to think about it. They're like, okay, that's a little weird. That's anchovy. That's tuna, I think. They're very slow growing. They also take, I mean, turkeys get way bigger, you know, they weigh up to 30 pounds. These guys get up to, I believe, 10 to 15 pounds for the males and like 7 pounds for the hens. They have really intense sexual dimorphism. The males are like 2 to 3 times the size of the hens. God, they're so cute. I really wanted, we don't know if any of them will be show quality because they just came from a local farm who wasn't really breeding show quality birds. And I'd love to get my hands on some show quality, but, you know, we might end up with some of these guys being show quality. And they're great meat ducks. They're really just wonderful pets. They're slow growing though. They take 35 days to hatch, and then they don't get feathers in until like 7 to 8 weeks. And I mean, that's just the start on the wings, so then they don't get more feathers in. They're not fully feathered for a long time. They're very sweet. And they love, their favorite thing to eat is bugs. They love, we raise a couple of different feeder insect species, predominantly for feeding the chickens and the turkeys and the muscovies. They're not actually ducks. I'm trying to get out of the habit of calling them ducks, but everyone calls them ducks, so it doesn't really matter. We breed mealworms and dubia roaches and red runner roaches, and these guys they love it all. They just absolutely love bugs more than anything else. Oh, you can see someone's on the perch now. Oh, Guppy bit their foot, so they fell. Guppy's a bit of a jerk. I think he's quite a bit older than even Minnow, who's the second biggest. He was also the most whiny initially, but he settled down pretty nicely. I'm thinking I might try ordering some muscovy eggs at some point when my incubators aren't so busy. From like a show line, or maybe find some show babies or something but I mean, we have to see, you know, we don't know how many drakes to hens we have right now. They're happy to have a lot more room in this brooder now. Well, thanks for tuning in and watching, and if you feel like it, like and subscribe. If you don't, then don't, you know, no pressure. And hopefully we'll be getting more videos of these guys and of everyone else in, now that the weather's really pleasant, so everyone's getting outside and happy. Soon, hopefully.